these guys are all big influences on me and certainly house music.
So let's go on that. I want to talk a little bit about each of your illustrious careers, because you guys have done a lot. All three of you have done amazing, have had amazing contributions to what we call house music. This is the Vintage House Show. And so part of what that is about is celebration and preservation. This is Lawrence framing, but the celebration and preservation of Chicago house legends and Chicago house music. And
welcome to the Vintage House Show. 2026 is starting off with an amazing, fantastic Chicago Electronic Music Conference, and it's headed by the two people we are lucky to have on the show today, John Rynecki and Kim Yeoh. And we are just so excited to have you on the Vintage House Show. Thanks so much for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So you all are fresh off the Winter Music Conference in Miami. Kim, I know you were just there. John, you've been in the past. It's always such a great, Miami's a great environment, number one. It's a great environment for music and art, all things creative. But for house music, it's fire. That entire city is just house music ever. Every hotel has house music. You go down Miami Beach, everything is house music. It is the best thing ever. You can't say that about Chicago. Like, you can't just go down Michigan Avenue and just hear like house music everywhere. So I love that. So that whole environment there. Kim, what was your time like? Your first time going? Tell us a little bit about the flow and the vibe there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a really great time, and it wasn't my first time in Miami, and I kind of knew where things were, where I was going. I was pretty familiar with the culture in Miami. But I was really pleasantly surprised by how invested people were in the music. I went to the Sagamore Hotel where Hot Since 82 was playing. And I think in a place like Miami, I witnessed a lot more artists taking risks. It feels very exciting to see them playing different things. You were so correct on any hotel. Like, we went to this random hotel where Atish was throwing a free party, and then we went to the basement and just heard some really fresh grooves that I haven't really experienced before. And I think in a place like Miami, especially during Miami Music Week, people were there to absorb. People really wanted to be there to experience what is new and exciting, and wanted to be impressed. And I think artists came to deliver that. And, I think Miami has created sort of an environment that encourages that. I think what we really want to do for Chicago as the birthplace of house is that we also want to be seen as a place where artists can come and be a playground, right? Like, for artists to really express themselves, for local artists, local talents to also bring in new, exciting elements. So that our culture and the sounds keep evolving, and not just, that's why at CMC we talk a lot about bridging the legacy with the future sound. So like, what is evolving, what's fresh, and what is the root of everything. So that's what we were trying to do. And I was really inspired by how Miami was able to really embody that spirit.
That is so fantastic. What a great description of your experience and what you thought about sort of that entire, what was going on there in total. John, we like to begin with history here at the Vintage House Show. So we're going to start with number one, John, where are you from? Where did you grow up? And how did that influence, sort of your music choices early on and then today?
Yeah, really great question. I think, again, thank you for having us. I think for myself, my parents are U.S. military, so I grew up abroad. I didn't actually grow up in Chicago. Chicago is my adopted home as of 10 years or so. Actually, 2016. And so I grew up in, my mom's Panamanian, my dad's Polish, Italian, American. And so I grew up in Panama for 10 years. And then I grew up in Germany for 6 years. So I had, most of my life I lived abroad. And I think that had a really big influence in like the different music that I listened to, like salsa, merengue, and also getting into, once I got to Europe, learning about like electronic music. And I was the kid on the bus of the U.S. military school system that everybody was making fun of the electronic music, but I was secretly like, ooh, I really like this. And I followed that thread and brought me to where I am today.
Got it. So you started off your life with a little salsa, a little merengue, and then it morphed into electronic music. Quickly, did you have interest in sort of the formation of that music? It was just, here's the music. Kids were kind of like not into it, but kind of into it at the same time. Did you have a sense of where the music began or formed? Or did you think it was just a European music form?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess like living in Europe, you tend to have this. I didn't know where I came from, especially electronic music. And I think that, and I didn't have a natural curiosity at the time to kind of investigate where things came from. And even just like my stepdad, who likes rock, he served in Vietnam, and then I remember he would play some rock that he played, and it's like a lot of music that comes up is redone and repeated. So it's like, oh, that's the original of this song, and there's so many versions of that throughout like different genres and throughout like music. And coming to Chicago was a really great experience to know. I did know before coming to Chicago that house music was the home of house, but it wasn't something I knew growing up.
Got it. Kim, talk to us a little bit about your background and your origin story.
Yeah, I am originally from Malaysia and born and raised in the small little island called Penang. I grew up very sheltered. I went to an all-girls high school. To be honest with you, I grew up kind of feeling a strong sense of disdain or maybe like misjudgment towards what electronic music represented, because growing up, there's a huge culture of like anti-drugs, anti-partying, study, go to school, have a family, your classic, Asian family idea of what success looks like. But when I graduated high school, my first job out of college was being a nightlife photographer at a club called Paris. Yeah. And I saw the way they were playing electronic music was the kind of music you would expect in like, I don't know, of like a random bar where the DJ was just playing top 40 remixes, right? That was my first introduction. So I didn't resonate with that music at all until I moved to Chicago. I was really craving for a creative community. I had moved to Iowa for school, found Chicago to be a better, much more vibrant place to live. And I was really craving for a creative community, and I, started going to some shows, and I brought my camera along with me, and I would introduce myself. Hey, can I take photos for your parties? And people liked it. Shout out to Rami from Rituals, and he was like, "Want to work for me?" And I just started photographing underground parties. And through the introduction, I think I was one of the people who didn't get in because of the music at first. I got in because I realized I don't think I've ever experienced that kind of welcoming joy and love and diversity for people who might not fit in elsewhere, or people who are a little bit quirkier. And it's just, you would never walk into a place where everybody just smile at you and just wanted you to be there. And that was what got me hooked. And then eventually you start getting to know the music, getting to know the DJ, understand the history. And then you get to know music nerds like Rynecki, and they start talking you off when the set is playing, and you're like, oh my God, did you hear what he's doing? And then you start learning about wow, this is a wonderful kind of music. And then I started learning how to DJ as well. And it's just a wonderful genre that carries so much weight and culture that means a lot for me personally as an immigrant in America.
Well, thank you so much for sharing what, Asian culture, not so many people understand that maybe some cultures have different definitions of success. What is success for an Asian, or a Latin, or another, a Black community? Like, what is success? And sometimes it does not include being creative. You know what I mean? So you have to really search that out. So thanks for pointing that out. And so we're so excited that you all have created the Chicago Electronic Music Conference. And, the Vintage House Show, we're built to, and we've, for the last 10 years, have really looking to make sure that the pioneers recognize themselves as legends and pioneers. And that wasn't happening so much. I think, the world was forgetting about Chicago's impact on music, on Black music, on world music. And we just wanted to make sure that everyone was telling their story the correct way. So anytime someone's looking to illuminate that, we want to be in support of that. And we just love it so much. So John, tell us how you created this. So you have a co-creator as well. Feel free to shout out all the people. Why you decided to create this conference, how it went last year, and tell us about, some of the things that we can look forward to this year.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. So I think it definitely didn't do it alone. There's a huge team and long list of contributors who helped make this possible. I was two fellow co-founders in 2023. We all came together like July 2023. I just left my job in tech. Myself, Nikhil Gudwani, Matt Pest, we were all in the same room one night, and we were wondering, like, why is there no sort of like networking event or event where we can learn from each other and be in the same room and not just party? And without, we'd have to go to Miami Music Week or Winter Music Conference or Amsterdam Dance Event to kind of get those kind of experiences. And why doesn't that exist in Chicago? And then along the way, Kim joined as a creative director and helped really tell our story and tell our branding in a really unique way to us. Kai Castro, Ken Sheldon, and a number of other long list of individuals. And from the inspiration for this, me personally, I think I was really sort of I really started in 2023 to pursue my electronic music career as an artist, as a DJ and professional. I'm a professional. I'm not just a hobbyist. I am going to make music. I'm going to release it. I'm going to DJ. And eventually I want to tour. And I realized it takes a lot of money to really get started in the industry. You need a lot of capital. It is pay to play in a lot of ways. Even right now I have a release that released on Friday that I'm running ads on to get to make sure people are hearing it all around the world. And it's not just something that you can just put out and not expect to put money in. And it took so much knowledge gathering and traveling to Amsterdam Dance to kind of get this information. And then that's really kind of helped inspire CEMC for me and how, I want to help impart this knowledge on others. And Nikhil, the other co-founder, he mentioned that the culture was really first and foremost for him. And I think our two visions came together. Now for me, the cultural aspect teaches the culture. I mean, the cultural aspect teaches everything you kind of need to know in many ways, if that makes sense.
Got it. Kim, what we know at the Vintage House Show is that it's very difficult to put together these kind of conferences. It's so fun and you're so looking forward to doing it. You want to see it happen. You want to see all these things happen. But it's extremely difficult, and it's certainly difficult to market as well, to market properly, globally, even locally. It's very hard to do. Tell me about the planning for this, how long it's taken you to plan this, put the team together, the teams that are going to reach out to the all of the panelists and the performers. Give me sort of that story, because I know that is super hard.
Yes, and it, like John said, it takes an entire village, and anyone who have thrown in a party together know how many people it requires to even just tape down cables, So
That's true.
I really love what you said earlier too about how we want legends to be able to recognize themselves, and I think when we come together, putting together a team or even a plan, to be honest with you, a lot of the time the plan looks like sitting down on a table and just figuring out what to do now. And because there's no blueprint, like John said, there's no ADE in Chicago yet, and we just have to figure out what is done. And the fact that John was in tech, I was a journalist, and then in advertising, and a couple of people in media, and just realizing this is the beauty of the dance floor. This is the beauty of the genre, that it attracts so many people with all kinds of different talents that you would need to build a village, to come together, and trusting that these people are bringing their best interests and their best tools and skill set and contributing to one single mission, which is like what you're saying, giving legends a platform and also inspiring new talents and making sure that this, house music and Chicago's culture continue to live on. When we were putting together branding, we really wanted to emphasize on Chicago as a feeling, right? Like we initially we wanted to use the Chicago color, the stars, and then when I said, hey, let's ask the people what they want, right? Like this is a conference for the people, so we did a survey, and the way people describe Chicago is just so unique and so personal. It's never about the colors. It's never about the flags. It's how the city makes them feel. It's how it feels like when you walk down Michigan Avenue on the Riverwalk. Yeoh has a song, right? Like when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. There's just, it's a captivating city, and we wanted to kind of create this underground imperfection, as playfulness, as our branding. So we try to make things a little bit off center sometimes, or make them feel a little bit more like a DIY print flyers that you would see back in the day, which is how rave started. So we draw a lot of inspiration from all different kinds of little, lived in experience of just being a Chicagoan, and being a house music lover. We try to highlight the human experience rather than what it should look like. And we wanted to create something very authentic, very tangible and tactile. And in terms of the marketing, at this state of the conference, we are a startup basically. And like John is saying, a lot of times we have to give money we have to like pay things. We're all full-time artists trying to make ends meet on our own. So it is a huge challenge, and just I wake up every day feeling so grateful that I'm on a team of people just coming together and just trusting, taking the leap that this is going to work out, and contributing everything that they can. And I think that's what our biggest marketing tool has been, is leaning on our community, right? Like for our panels, we have people like Lori Branch, we have people like DJ Hyperactive, we have people like from Do 312, and just leveraging local community resources and being like, hey, this is a really cool thing that we think you should be a part of, and we want to highlight your story. It's a win-win, right? Like it's not about like you marketing for us or us marketing for you. It's just like we're coming together and creating something that adds value to the city, to the community. That's the marketing. And, we try to stay true to that, because we don't have the money to just be like, here, put a billboard, like put it on this. And all we have is connections and the people that believe in us. So really, really grateful people like, you yourself are having us on. Like this is our marketing, right? It's all just very organic and very much people who believe in us. So yeah, I think it's so cheesy, but it is kind of how we've been able to push so many content out.
That is amazing. That's a great story. And again, I think people can feel sort of the passion in your discussion around this conference and your interest in the music and your need to ensure that people recognize that we all have to come together to put together this story to make sure that the world knows these different things, and that not just the world, but even Chicagoans know these different things. And it starts, I think, with young people like yourself. I feel like, please never get discouraged by old people not encouraging you, because old people are stuck in our ways and we think, this is the only thing, which is why I want to give Cameron Phillips also a shout out. We've been very supportive of Cameron. We want to see these things happen. We know some of these older adults are just not going to make it happen for whatever the reasons are. And so love also to David Chavez, who's tried to, put together with the city the Chicago House Music Conference and Festival. We programmed that for 3 years and assisted for many years in different capacities on that. But, COVID threw a few things off. There wasn't sort of the set time and dates that people could absolutely know that this thing was happening. And I think once we get back to that, maybe there's a collaboration that we could all do that suggests that people know globally they should come here, like ADE, like, Winter Music Conference. So I think that's always a goal. Put that goal number one, work cohesively to make sure that the world knows that this conference and this festival is happening. So it's not just education, but it's fun, it's more music, and it's young people moving the music to the next level. Tell us who else is going to be at this fantastic one-day event at the Ramova Theater. Bless you. Tell us about all the other people. Thanks for shouting out Lori Branch, of course, and the Vintage House Show team will be there in full effect. And we hope to interview folks as they're coming on and off, whatever they're doing, and people who are just coming to the event. We want to talk to them too. But what else should we expect at this thing? What's new? What's going to be something that's going to surprise the folks?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think the best part about this is that last year, the difference, I think you asked this earlier, what's the difference between last year and this year? And I think the first year, we only used the second floor really of the Ramova, and now we're expanded to the full venue. So every piece of space at the Ramova, every nook and cranny is being utilized to the nth degree. We've gone and measured many times and taken many photos. And I think, so you mentioned Cam Phillips from Museum of House. He's the panel that Lori Branch is on. It's called Chicago's Legacy and What Comes Next. And it's a panel with Lori Branch, Vince Lawrence, Kate Simcoe, DJ Hyperactive, and a number of other panels. Like Kim is also leading a panel on AI, tech, future-proofing your career, cost of a night out with, this one here. Mm-hmm. And so among there's panels, there's workshops, there's activations. Kim, do you want to talk about any of the activations?
Yes. So, I wear many hats.
Just a few pictures while you're talking. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. And, one of the things that we learned last year was people love the elements of surprise, right? Like when we were trying to utilize every footprint that we had like a little side quest area. We didn't even come up with that name, but it was just a vinyl cafe with beanbags. And the fact that you had to go through multiple doors and then open and come around and to find that, people were so excited to find out about that place. And so this year we kind of structured the experience kind of based on feedback from last year. Want to make sure that the flow is better at checked-in, and then also adding in areas where people can network, people can rest, people can, go through the more introspectiveness, right? I think that's what Miami Music didn't have for me, was like a lot of talking and constant stimulation. So this year we're also very intentional with how we curate spaces where people can have quiet time, and people can also network music, all kinds of different things. So, I almost want to keep it as an element of surprise, but we will have a lot of, educational opportunities. And, one of the best thing is we have so many technological vendors that is taking over the entire Ramova loft, and they're going to be able to physically experience a lot of the gears. Like, for example, the Erica Sense is bringing in this gear that was co-designed by Richie Houghton. And they're they're doing a demo on it. So there's going to be a lot of hands-on actual, producer, DJ language kind of jargony situation. So there's like the broad level panel, what the culture is going to go. And then there's a very how to use this specific kick drum. And, you get to play with it. And then there's also all day music, highlighting local people, and highlighting different local collectives. And it's going to be a lot of different little areas that people can explore. And what I am personally really looking forward to is just being able to find a way to curate some kind of collaboration between people, because I think this is what matters to us the most is people leave the conference not just with knowledge but with new contacts in their phones, new followers, new people that they are going to grab coffee with, have studio sessions with. I think in the end of the day, what keeps the culture alive is really people starting to collaborate with other people. Like you were saying, like there's so much to learn from, we have to meet the professionals, which is kind of like a networking speed dating event. There's so much to learn from the professionals and from the people on stage. At the same time, there's so many opportunities to learn from the people around you. That's how John and I got here, right? Being at the dance floor, talking to each other. And here we are, like starting something exciting together. So that is really what we're hoping to create, is an environment where people can learn and meet cool friends that turns into lifelong collaborators.
I mean, that's how the world works right now. Sometimes you're just at a networking event and, you met the co-founder to your new venture, which I think is fantastic. And collaboration and cooperation, I think, is critical for Chicagoans to sort of bring the music, from Chicago back across the globe, take it over as a genre that, again, is Chicago birthed. And I do like that you're thinking about sort of very tactile ways that folks can be introduced to the music form. Is there an age limit of, so people who can attend, or tell me about some of the attendees and what you're kind of thinking the attendee pool should look like, or who should come to this?
Like everyone, I think the 18 is the age to attend. And so 18 and up. If you're a student, you can get a student discount at the Ramova. Also, if you're a Bridgeport resident, there's also a fixed rate ticket, I think $30 for that. Students 25. And last year, our demographic skewed a bit younger. So I think like if you're looking at who attended, it was mostly people who were very curious about the industry. Maybe they didn't really know where they fit. And maybe they've already started DJing, but they don't really know if they can make a career. And I think even last year, I think I was corrected by my co-founder, Dakil. I kept saying that, like, I'm a music professional. It's something that it was a very hard transition that I turned I am a music professional. And that's not something I think a lot of people use or say in the US in dance music. So, and I'm trying to convert a lot of people to like, yes, this is an industry. It's maybe not the easiest. It's not the most traditional. My mom, when I told her I'm going to quit my tech job to become a full-time DJ music producer, she's like, Johnny, I don't think that's the best idea. But honestly, it's been a challenging road, but the best decision of my life. I don't regret it. And I think I want to help other people do that as well. And that's something that we're trying to do here.
Yeah. And adding on a little bit of that too, I think a lot of times when people see events like this, they might think, oh, like it's only for DJs or producers, or they might be like, oh, this is for people who are learning how to DJ or learning how to produce. Mm-hmm. It's really not, it's an industry gathering, right? Like it is about people of all levels coming together and being curious about what is missing in your life and learning from each other and meeting new people, meeting new friends in a fresh way, in a setting that is inspiring, that is not just a dance floor. Like it's just a different environment for dance music to flourish. So we really want anyone, we call them, what is it, like rave enthusiasts or like the dance enthusiasts, dance music enthusiasts. We want media people to come. Like for example, I didn't come to the scene as DJ's producer. Like I think it is about what opportunities have you not discovered yet in your creative career in dance music, like as a photographer, as a content creator. This is a place that you can come and talk to people who love house music and see what you can come up with together.
All right. House music is fun. It's love. It is, music. It envelops you, but it's also a business. And there's all kinds of business opportunities available for people across the board, young and old. If you find whatever that trajectory is for you within, if you love the music, or if you think a little bit about the music, there's a business side to this that people should attack in a great way, because it is a global music genre. And there are a lot of people across the globe that are making a lot of money on this, on this Chicago birth thing. So I do think it's very important that, people come together at this event and realize that there's so many different ways to become involved in the music. You don't just have to be, a, a DJ or a promoter or a club owner. You could just enjoy something else and realize that there's some room in the genre for you and your passions and your creativity, especially since we're in the new age of AI. There's got to be some way we're going to use all of that technology to do 20,000 different things in the music. Protect the music, but you never know. I'm sure you all are going to help us with that in a couple of weeks as well, like how people are going to use these new technologies to move the music forward and protect the music. So guys, please give everyone the information on how to get tickets, where they should go social media wise to find out more information on the Chicago Electronic Music Conference.
Yep. So you can go to chicagoemc.org and or you can the Remova website for tickets. Also, we have a offshoot event this Thursday at 6 p.m. from 6 to 10 p.m. We've had these events all throughout the spring and winter. They're called Q Points, and typically their workshop. This one is a vinyl lovers meetup. So it's done with the Vinyl Collective and Bridgeport Records. So basically there's a pop-up record store with Bridgeport, the Vinyl Collective led by Virginia, who works with Cam every once in a while. But so yeah, basically you can bring a record, talk to people. There's vinyl open decks. It's a good way to meet our community, and also you can get a discount they have as well.
Got it. What are all the social media handles to reach you personally, both of you all personally, and the actual event sites?
Kim, do you wanna?
Yeah. Our Instagram handle is Chicago_EMC, and my personal handle is Pirated Kim. It's a whole different conversation about how I come up with that name. And then for John, I believe it's J.R.
Yep, Jay Rynecki.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
I can tell how you all are, sort of just getting started. At some point, you're going to need, you're going to have 5,000 people calling you for different things. You're going to need your own personal Instagram and then your business music Instagram, so you can funnel the people, and the people who just want your phone number just to ask you all out. That's another Instagram that you're going to have to put together. Like, you have to operate like celebrities now, guys. Okay. So like level it up and make sure that you have the different path for each one of the people so they don't get mixed up. You think you're getting a date and then someone really wants to, present next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just a thought there.
All the time.
Exactly. You have to be so careful. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like, trust me, I know. You got to be like, wait a minute. I've got to give somebody, in my day, I've got to give somebody else that number, not this number. You know what I mean? Like, I got to put you in this category, not the other category. Guys, we look forward to the Chicago Electronic Music Conference Saturday, April the 11th. What time does it begin?
It starts at noon. And we have prepared a really special way to open the day. We're going to have two of our really, really good friends who really inspired a lot of this collaboration, Jack Hoya and Cyclone, and they are flying in from LA to open with an ambient hybrid set to kind of set the tone of like, all right, you're entering this new space for the day. And then, that's when the actual panel starts at 1 p.m.
So you want people to get there at noon to experience the first activations, the first performances. They need to be there. And I think that's wonderful. Any other things that we should know that I didn't ask?
I guess we also have music all day at Off Hours Beer Co., which is the beer diner brewery attached to Remova. That is open to public. You don't need a ticket. It's one of our ways of paying respect to Bridgeport as the venue. We curated all day music with local DJs, and that is open to anybody who you don't need to buy a ticket. So just come enjoy the show and enjoy the music. And if you feel inspired and you want to learn more, please come through. We would love to just meet people who are even just getting started and curious. What else?
And the after party that we're announcing today.
Yes. Do we
Yeah,
announce now?
Can we
Yeah,
get
we
the
can-
grand?
it's at
Can
a-
we get the grand announcement here on the Vintage House Show, please?
Yeah.
Yes. A partner of ours is Arbea, Chicago. So it's in in River North, and like Veronica Beckman like really believes in us, and we'll be having the after party there with Kate Simcoe and one of the panelists from LA, Adam After Hours. And yeah, look out for the post on Chicago_EMC for more details.
And John is playing closing.
Yes, I'm playing as well.
Oh,
Yes.
see, that's why we have to come. We have to come just to check you out. That's
Yes.
critical. Okay, so
Yes.
Exactly.
we are going to critique the skills, John. We're going to be like,
Don't worry, I'll deliver.
So you're going to deliver on the music. So guys, thank you all so much. Have a fantastic event. We look forward to seeing you there. If people have any other questions, they are welcome to, check out and reach back out to the Vintage House Show. We're happy to help them put you in the right direction as well. John, Rynecki, Kim, Yeoh, thank you all so much for creating this event and coming on the Vintage House Show to talk about it.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Thanks.
Take it easy. Bye, Lauren.
Bye-bye. I'm trying to do my outro. Golly jeez. Thanks for listening to the Vintage House Show podcast. Please subscribe and share, and check us out live, WNUR 89.3 FM, Wednesdays at 10 o'clock.